for the latest on the Jazz, Utes, Cougars, and Aggies?
Yeah.
We've got you covered. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the Sports Zone.
Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. BYU basketball red hot. Another big W as the wins just keep on stacking. And to help break it down, the play-by-play voice of the BYU Cougars, the one, the only, the great Greg Wrubell. Greg, how are you?
Hey, Greg.
Hello, Scotty. Hello, partner.
How are you? Scotty, I thought we were bringing him on to talk spring football opening.
Oh, well, we can get to that, too, if you'd like.
I thought this was...
No, that's way on the back burner, guys.
You might have a few things on your docket right now that might take a little precedence over spring football.
Yeah, no doubt.
Love it. Just what do you attribute the recent hot streak of BYU basketball to?
Well, last year was a pretty good year. First year in the Big 12, but the Cougs never won more than 2 games in a row in conference play last year, ended up finishing 2 games above 500. They've already got a 4-game win streak and a 5-game win streak in one of the best basketball conferences in the country. It's tough to get on this kind of roll, and that's what the Cougs are on right now. And 3 of the 5 wins were on the road. In Morgantown, in Tucson, and last night in Tempe. Now, credit Arizona State. That was a pretty game effort for a team that was really down personnel. But that said, you win 5 in a row, you've had to win some good games somewhere along the line. And they've won some great games. Of the 5 wins, 4 are quad 1. So they're winning tough games at a tough time of year, and to be overly simplistic, they're shooting the lights out right now. That's why they're winning these games. They have an incredible offensive flow right now, and I broke it down on X the other day. But you go back to the start of the Ken Palm era. This is the most efficient BYU offense ever, and that goes back a quarter century. So you're going back to the late 90s. But the first year of Kevin Young has BYU running its most efficient offense since the onset of the Ken Palm rankings. It's crazy. I saw that Off the Stats put out a tweet last night. First team this century to score 90 or more in 3 straight games at 50% plus from the field. And what they're doing it with at least a dozen threes in every game and fewer than a dozen turnovers in every game. Every metric of efficiency, they're kind of knocking out of the park right now.
And it's so hard for me as I watch these games and I watch this team, it's hard for me to place my finger on how much of it's what Kevin Young has brought to the table and how much of it is the ball that's coming off the fingertips of these shooters, because they got some beautiful shooters. I mean, real soft, gorgeous touch. Nell, just right out of the gates, comes and hits a deep 3, and it was so beautiful off the hand and sets the tone. Is it the shooters, Greg, or is it Kevin Young finding the open looks and the flow of the touch off the finger?
Well, you don't do what you're doing right now without the good shooters. But then, to have an offense that fits that style, and you can't ignore the inside game. In fact, they have a mantra, paint to great. On this team, you want to get the best paint touches you can, and if it's not there for you, you're going to kick it out to spaced shooters. And so paint to great is the mantra. They play what's called 0.5 basketball hands, which you've got 0.5 seconds to take a shot, take a dribble, make a pass, make a decision. The ball can't stick. It can't be a dead ball. And so they're playing fast. The spacing's great. You've got inside threats with Foose and Keba. You've got shooters all around the floor. They don't take a ton of twos, but when they do, they are hyper efficient with those shots. Again, they're 4th nationally in 2-point percentage, while ranking 312th in percentage of points they score on twos. All right, so they want the 3 first and foremost. They want the shot right at the rim. Other than that, they're not going to waste a lot of time with lower percentage stuff. Now, they can hit the mid-range, and they do. They've got a bunch of guys who are mastering the float game right now, but that's an interesting dichotomy. You rank 312th in percentage of points on twos, but when you take them, you're 4th nationally in percentage. I mean, what a great combination. And you throw that in with the 3-point numbers they're putting up right now, and it's a true pick-your-poison offense. Keba Keita's numbers during this 5-game win streak, I just posted this, and most of it's dunking, right? But he's 19 for 22 in the 5-game win streak because of the percentage of looks they give him. High percentage looks they give him around the rim.
Yeah, and you start shooting the 3-ball like you are, that's going to open up things at the rim in a big, big way. But you look at Richie Saunders, and there's so much to be excited about and some of the new additions to BYU. But Richie, back for another year with BYU. He's number 1 in the Big 12 in three-point shooting percentage. He's number 1 in effective field goal percentage. He's number 5 in offensive rating in the conference. This guy, who was already a really good player, taking another step. How much is he just excelling in this Kevin Young system, and how much of it is just him developing as a player on his own?
Well, BYU is riding Richie right now. There's no doubt he has 8 games in Big 12 play with 20 points or more. So almost half his schedule has been 20 points or more, and that's hard to do in a conference this good. I like to say that he's gone from glue guy to go-to guy, which is really what he's become. I think people really respected his game before, but they would use words like hustle and scrappy and all the kinds of things that But he's also just a great shooter and player. And Kevin Young has told a lot of people that normally guys with those glue guy qualities can't shoot, or certainly can't shoot as well as Richie. And Richie is all those things you want, right? All those great qualities that make a guy necessary and indispensable on the floor. But then you add to it the actual skill level he's got. And he's shooting at an excellent – his last 3 games, 69%, 80%, 53% from the field against Kansas, Arizona, and Arizona State. He has multiple threes now in 4 straight games. He had a career-high tying 6 threes last night. He's shooting a great number on threes with volume, so he's really doing everything on this team right now. It's tough to imagine anybody carrying more of a load, yet he's able to spread it around. Kevin Young is around Richie. Considered by, we've all done this long enough to know that by this time of the year, last week of February, most rotations have shrunk to 8, 7, 6 guys. And BYU's gone to expand the rotation to 9, 10, 11 guys. They're literally playing 11 right now and playing 11 useful players right now. You just don't see that. I've never seen it. I'm used to things just really clamping down, and you focus on the handful of guys you can count on. Well, now Kevin Young can count on so many more guys. What a great situation to be in, where you can lean on more and not fewer guys at the most important time of the year.
It feels like Dallin Hall is one of the more polarizing names and members on this roster. People like him, they dislike him. But I absolutely love when he takes the court. I just like his energy. I like his defensive hustle. I like how he organizes the offense. There's so many things I like about Dallin, but I want you to encapsulate in words Dallin Hall's season to this point from Greg Wrubell's point of view.
Well, he didn't start the season very, very healthy, and it took him a while, like it took a lot of the guys some time to figure each other out, to figure their head coach out, to get health, to get continuity. And since he has become the reserve point guard, and he still plays starter minutes a lot of the night, let's not get it confused. Basically, since he's gone to the bench, he's embraced his role to the point where he has 3 or more assists now in 14 straight games. He has only 1 turnover in 6 of his last 7 games. And all of those are with multiple assists. So he's really dialing in on the efficiency of distribution. He's scored double figures in 4 of his last 7, shooting a good number, 63% last night at Arizona State. He's made 7 threes in his last 5 games. He's finding a way to contribute everywhere, in every way you want a guy with his experience to do it. But it took a while. And that's the thing about this team, guys, is it took a while. Kevin's a first-year Division I head coach. Kevin was starting 2 freshmen at the start of the year, and only 1 is a starter right now. He's made lineup adjustments. He's gone through the injury adversity of the early part of the year. They've learned how to work with each other, and he with them. This was a process of discovery this season. And it's rare that it works out this way, guys, where you feel like you're playing your best basketball at this time of year. It'd be great if it does turn out that way. It hasn't always worked out that way for BYU, but it's trending that way right now for the Cougs.
So Yegor has been absolutely fun to watch, and look, he's super young. He's got a little bit of a turnover bug, and the shot's not quite there yet, but his vision and his ability to distribute the ball, he's got, 31 assists over the last 4 games alone. What's your impression of the young man, and what have you seen from him in his early stages of his career?
Yeah, the turnovers are going to be a cost of doing business with Yegor. But you take that as the collateral damage you get for the outstanding nights like 10 assists last night for him. And his scoring is hit and miss. He's a little bit up and down. He has one double-figure scoring game in his last 4. But before that, he put together 3 consecutive games of double-figure scoring and around 13 points a game. So that has been up and down, but he always finds a way to contribute. And we just can't overlook the fact that he's one of the tougher guards in the Big 12. That is, toughest guys to guard. 6'9" point guards, they're pretty rare, right? And so to have his length, his vision, his ability, his cleverness at that position is so invaluable. And it just seems like Jaeger has had moments where okay, it's not really working with the shot. I'm just going to get to the hole. And he gets there so quick. It's a couple, 2-3 loping strides, and he's finger rolling off the window. And so that's a great thing to turn to when the three-point shot isn't dropping. And he did have his 9-game streak of 3-point makes coming to an end last night. He was 0 for 1 from deep. But then again, he rips off a 10-4 with assists and turnovers. And so you see why he's been on the radar as long as he's been with the NBA guys. Just an incredible tool to have at that position. You kind of overlook the fact sometimes, guys, that BYU starts a really long lineup. You know, you're starting 6'7", 6'8", 6'5", 6'5", 6'9", and yeah, there's no 7-footers in there, but there's no 6'2", 6'1" guys either. They're a constantly, consistently long opening group, and that I think gets maybe overlooked at times.
I'm just curious, Greg, on a personal level, what's it like working with Kevin Young? What kind of individual is he in conversations on air, off air? What's he been like to work with?
Yeah, I really love his vibe, and I'm really blessed. And I guess we are both blessed to work with the coaches we get to work with at BYU.
Oh yeah.
And Kevin's just the latest. Really cool vibe. What I like about Kevin, one of the things I like most is when he has shared his point, when he's gotten out what he wants to say, we're moving on. You got to have the next question ready. We're going on. He doesn't go on and on about one thing. He gets his point out and makes it concise, makes it well understood. And then we keep the conversation going. I love that about him. And I've seen emotion from Kevin Young. There's no doubt. I've seen him fired up. He's as competitive as they get. He is fired up. He can get fired up. But personality-wise, generally speaking, it's a chill vibe from the guy. Right now, everyone knows that in competitive moments, you're not always chill. And I've seen him get really high, and high in a positive, excited way, and high when he's ticked off. But for the most part, this is a guy with a smooth, even keel, and chill kind of vibe. He's young. His youth is on display in a lot of really positive ways. BYU's got a super impressive and bright future with him at the helm. There's not a thing I don't like about working with Kevin Young, and he's made me a better broadcaster. I've learned a lot of hoops from him in a very short amount of time. And again, I feel like I just keep going, from good coach to good coach to good coach in terms of guys to deal with and work with and learn from. And he's the latest in the line. Super blessed. Yeah,
I know that feeling well. When you're working with a great coach, it makes your job so much easier. And fortunately, with all the coaches I've had to work with over the last 7-8 years.
What is that, 5 in the last 7?
5. This is my 8th year doing basketball, and it's my 5th basketball coach. And all of them have been great. All of them are crazy different. All of them ridiculously, varying styles and personalities, but all of them have been really cool to work with. I've been really lucky.
Oh, hey, by the way, just in that vein, our guy here, Greg, he's got a coach's show.
Oh yeah,
Bronco Mendenhall tonight.
Yeah, me and Bronco hanging out tonight. You got any tips on how to do an hour? Yeah, because the basketball team's staying on the road, so they're going to be in Fort Collins, and so normally we do basketball shows, but because they're on the road and I'm back here in Utah, we're going to do a just kind of a spring football preview with Bronco. So me and Bronco are going to hang out tonight for the first time.
Well, that's awesome. I've got my coach's show with Kevin Young tonight as well. I really enjoyed the hours I had with Bronco. We had a lot of pregame and postgame conversations, of course, and then we did spend that hour each week together. And you'll find there is a humor and a wit and a slyness about him sometimes that comes out. He's a really entertaining and engaging conversationalist, and I like the things I learned from him. And he's very introspective, He's not, super, obviously gregarious, but he has a real affability to him. And if he senses that you're into what he's sharing, he'll give you some great stuff. I really enjoyed my time with Bronco. And again, just another one of those coaches that I got to learn a lot from and spend a lot of fun hours with. And I know you'll enjoy your tenure with him. He's an all-timer.
Yeah. I will tell you this, Greg. I was up there on that recruiting visit with Rock and sat down with Bronco, and he went on about you for about 5 minutes. He just he has the same things to say about you. He's a big fan of yours, so pretty cool. But Utah, let's see. So BYU is headed into this game against West Virginia, and you've got 3 games left. Couple of tough ones. You got some type of revenge match against Utah. You've got on the road against number 9 Iowa State, and things really kick off against West Virginia. What are your expectations on this 3-game finish?
Well, to me, they're all tough. I don't know that you get to this point in the year without there being a tough game. They're all huge. Javon Small is still 5th in the conference in Big 12 scoring and conference play. They held them. BYU did to 9 points in Morgantown. Conversely, West Virginia held Richie to 9 points in Morgantown, and so that was kind of a wash. And I thought it was a really hard-earned win. The Cougs did trail in the final 5 minutes. Virginia clamps you down. It's a scary game, but aren't they all this time of year? It's the prototypical strength against strength. BYU's efficient offense against West Virginia's efficient defense. I think a home crowd will behoove BYU. I think they're going to need to lean on that crowd to get the energy they need to get over the top against this West Virginia team. Iowa State speaks for itself at Hilton, and then Utah's Utah, right? And they got BYU up there, and so 3 very difficult games, each in their own way. And the Cougs will be, well challenged to try and win 2 of the 3 down the stretch. I think BYU is a lock right now for the tournament. I think it goes without saying. But now it's about seeding and how high can you go heading into what should be a fascinating tournament in Kansas City. So I look at 3 incredibly tough games and no nights off. And even Arizona State last night, guys. Anyone who watched or listened got a sense that Arizona State, although they were down on players, they grinded and gave BYU all they could. They scored 81 with only a handful of scholarship players available. So that's what you're going to get, from every team in this league. I love the Big 12. It's every team's a top 100 team. And you look at what Colorado did and beating Baylor and almost beating Kansas, and then Arizona State giving BYU a ride last night. Great basketball league.
Greg, I anticipate before it's all said and done, the way BYU is playing right now, they're going to finish higher than an 8 seed. But let's get that 8-9 matchup Lenardi put out the other day. Let's you and I hang out in San Francisco or some other city, and let's call a game.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something? They're not on each other's schedule lately, but they might get put together because they both kind of appear to be in that same realm right now. So wouldn't that be something?
Oh, it'd be amazing. It'd be a lot of fun.
Actually, I don't want to see it because I want to see both teams move on.
That's what I want. I want different parts, same bracket, different parts. So maybe you meet in the round of 32, or best case would be like a Sweet 16 matchup. That would be sweet.
Now that would be a lot of fun. Hey, we've talked a lot about good things, and I don't mean to end it on a bad note, but there is an element that I know BYU fans are a little bit concerned about. Where are you in your concern level if a game's going down, it's a 1-possession game late in the second half, and BYU's got to put a game away from the free throw line?
They'll knock them down.
Attaboy.
Richie Saunders did it.
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened. That's the situation they had Saturday in Tucson, right? That's exactly it. You're down 1, 3 seconds to go, sold out crowd. What does Richie do? 2 for 2, baby.
That was incredible. That was one of my favorite moments of the season so far. Watching that kid step up there and in that environment and just pop. It was pretty incredible.
It might have been the UCF game. Kibikeda went 2 for 2 in the closing moments when he needed to do it. So, yeah, I mean they've been up and down from the free throw line, but it seems like in the biggest moments they've been coming through. So I don't have any real long-term concerns there. It's just one of those things about basketball sometimes. And last night certainly didn't kill BYU. I think it would have been a wider margin had they been a little sharper from the line. But it's still a good free throw shooting team on the whole. They're around 70%, which will get it done on most nights. And I liked what Richie was able to do Saturday in Tucson for sure.
Right. Any chance you and I could get on a conference call and reverse Tom Holmoe's decision?
To retire?
Yeah. I want to keep him.
Yeah,
Selfishly.
that's not going to happen. No, it's like I said on social, right man, right time. I mean, it was such a key stage of BYU's athletics history, and he was just a perfect guy to guide BYU through it. And whoever the new person is, they've got a fully set table to work with, and that's a great thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's leaving it in good hands.
Well, Hans and I have already made our push for the next athletic director at BYU. One, Greg Wrubell. So let's go. Greg, hey,
off the desk and into the office.
There you go. Greg, always a pleasure, man. Thanks for your time. Means a lot.
No, the pleasure is always mine. Thank you, Scotty. Thank you, Hans. And we'll see each of you guys sometime soon somewhere, I know.
There we go.
I'm going to be down at spring ball, so I'll be taking
my guy is all about spring football.
All right, thanks, Greg.
Okay, see you guys.
See ya.
I do love some spring football, man.
I know you do, and I know you miss it. You miss the football.
I do. I'm going to be getting down there as soon as some of this clock lines up for me. I'm going to get out to University of Utah, go watch some of their spring ball too. Got to figure out what's going on with Coach Beck and the offensive side.
Yeah.
They got some work to do, but they got some good personnel.
So, anybody of you put bets on the fact that Greg would bring up Boise State? Didn't happen.
Dang it.
He is a scholar and a gentleman.
I was hoping on his way.
That's why. I mean, I led into Utah State, an 8-9 matchup potentially, and I tried to lead the horse to water, but he wouldn't bite.
So what happened last night?
Yeah,
that's all I wanted from him.
That's all I wanted. Yep.
I was busy with my own call. I didn't get a chance to see.
So how did that game go? I know I was calling a win.
Certainly always a pleasure to catch up with you, Greg. Thanks for your time, and look forward to catch up again here very, very soon.
Yeah, where are you, by the way, Scotty? Did you go to Boise last night, or what was the deal?
It's legendary, man.
Oh,
it is so legendary.
It was so legendary because he got done. I was like, I think he just trolled.
I know.
Scotty.
I like the whole time. I'm just
Scotty?
like, oh yeah, they lost, and they had some injuries, and guys are beat up, but they'll be fine. Blah 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 blah.
So it's looking like they're not going to make the tournament now.
That's the best.
And then all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute, he just cut me.
I'll tell you, he's fun to work with because he keeps you on your toes. Because he's got that sense of humor. You're like, okay, what direction you headed with this? I mean, we're having fun. Are we being serious?
Yeah.
Because his tone will take you into humor, but with the same tone, and you're like, where we? Okay, so we are having fun.
Well, you can tell why he and Bronco got along because very similar sense of humor.
Greg is, man, he's great.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody outside of you that puts that kind of work into it. It's incredible how much. I mean, you saw the numbers he just reeled off on this BYU basketball program. He's just dialed in, man.
Yeah. Hans and Scotty coming up next. We'll spin the wheel. A little sports roulette straight ahead right here on The Zone.
This is DJ and PK.
Jeff Judkins, former U player, former U assistant coach. If you're talking to any of these guys, would you recommend that they stay? Why would any of the guys give up a good thing they have going for the uncertainty that you're painting in the college basketball industry?
Because you love the University of Utah, and you love the challenge to see if you can return this program where it was. The hard part of the university job is not just getting the job and recruiting. It's winning. It's getting the fans back. It's getting Utah back on the map where they need to. It's dealing with the NIL money. That's tough to do. Once you have it, it's kind of easy. Once you have it, it's hard to lose it. There, when I was coaching, we were ranked in the top 10 for 8 or 9 straight years. If you walk in a gym, people knew who you were. Now you got to start all over and try to get that, which I know it can be done.
Catch DJ and PK mornings from 6 to 10 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. The wheel is loaded, and it's time to talk some sports. This is Sports Roulette with Hans and Scotty on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Woo, starting to hit the wall, man. Done a lot of traveling.
Yeah, you've been busy. You've been a busy boy. I'd say one more day, but you've got Coach's show, and then you've got a game this weekend. And
yeah, I got to find a way to get to Fort Collins. I don't know if I'm driving or flying. I haven't decided yet. Lloyd's saying fly.
Oh, you need to fly.
You're hitting a point like the driving. It's cool and all, and the audio books are neat.
Yeah,
but
So that Fort Collins, that's a rough drive, man. Take Laramie and add another hour to it. It's like, eesh.
Cole Bagley seems to think I'm not even going to be able to skate out onto the ice in full goalie gear.
Yeah,
See, I did not hear Cole. He was hard on you, huh?
Yeah. Cole wasn't didn't paint the most optimistic of pictures.
He thinks you have no athleticism?
No, he just doesn't think I can skate with 30 pounds of gear.
I think he pretty much challenged your athleticism.
Yeah, sure sounds like it.
I don't know what to do. It's not like I'm meeting on solid ground in football gear. I mean, I'm on ice with a sharp blade underneath my feet.
This is what I will say about one of my best friends on the planet, Hans Olsen. You can question him at your own risk because your competitive desire will outweigh a lot of inadequacies. Like, if you find a way to do it, like this guy will hit a Texas wedge from 70 feet out after you stick it 2 feet from the hole.
There's no way you should come back from 5 shots down.
Yeah.
It just shouldn't happen.
So
that was a good round. Though.
If people are out there thinking, oh, Hans won't be you're going to take a beating and you're going to give up some goals, but you're not going to embarrass yourself out there.
I just don't want to be an embarrassment.
No, I don't think that's going to happen. All right, let's get to it. Time for another edition of Sports Roulette. Lloyd, fire up that wheel.
Update.
All right, so update on this story that came out a couple days ago. The NFL will be using essentially technology as a first down marker.
Right.
And so you and I were very excited about this because, they'll still have the chain crew and it'll be awesome. And we thought, okay, this might lead us away from an issue we saw last year with Buffalo in the playoffs in Kansas City. Well, actually, no, that's not the case. The Buffalo situation would still very much have happened the way that it did because it's not tracking where the ball is. It's tracking where the officials mark it. So the officials will still be responsible for marking the football, and then the technology will take over and determine where it is. So it's not spotting the ball. It's just lining it up with the first down marker after it's been spotted. So we all think this would help with the Buffalo situation. Actually wouldn't because it was a bad spot by the official. So it really isn't going to do that much. When I read into it, I'm like, this isn't
They're
helping.
They're still going to have a biased spot.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why you need a little bit of a little computer chip in the end of that football, and you can tell at that point where forward progress is.
Yeah, just put a little computer chip in both tips.
Yeah.
And you can be able to see where it goes.
Yep. You don't need it.
You just track where it goes.
Yeah.
And, you can see how close you get to that first down marker.
Yeah, you don't need it in the middle of the football, just on the ends.
Yeah. That's look, we're not scientists, but that's how I would do it.
I don't see
I'm not letting officials be able to judge an entire outcome of a game because they just keep
screwing it up,
doing as much as they can to give Kansas City all the advantage.
Yeah. Until it's the Super Bowl, and then they're like, okay, no.
Until the Eagles just take it from them.
Yeah.
Take their entire
Don't even
will
give them a
the
choice.
Oh,
don't even give the refs a choice.
We're not going to let you screw this up. We're going to beat this team into submission.
So it only activates when they set the ball down.
Yeah. Yep. So it's essentially eliminating jobs from the chain crew, even though they'll still have a chain crew. But those guys won't be needed. It'll be.
Those guys are just stealing money anyways.
They kind of are, actually.
Come on.
I mean, we're all about cutting jobs right now. Those dudes, look, it's some old dude that's in his 70s carrying a chain around.
You know about the chain gang?
Yeah.
Do they even get paid?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Oh, do they?
Although I would do it for free.
Well, like
So,
I know,
you'd have the best seat in the house.
I know, like the BYU staff, I know they do it for free.
Oh, do they?
Uh-huh.
So they just get to be able to be there and watch a great game.
Yeah. Yep. But I don't know if that's how it is at every college game. But shout out to Dave and his crew.
That's why they get a favorable ball placement.
Well, they don't place it. They just sit there and hold the stick.
Like, hey, slide that stick back a little bit. We got to get this team a first down.
Now you could do that, like remove a couple of links of chain.
Yeah, exactly.
That's dirty.
Officials like, pull that tight. It is. What are you talking about? All right. Lloyd, spin it.
A broken golf cart and a broken head.
Well, Cam Scadaboo is getting pulled into a lawsuit with a former teammate. A former teammate is suing him.
Oh, jeez.
For causing an accident on the backside of a golf cart. So I guess they ride a golf cart from practice facility to the locker rooms or something, vice versa. And there were rules put in place for this golf cart. Only 2 people on the back of this golf cart. This offensive lineman, his name is Mateos Katguris, and he was on the back of the golf cart, and there was another guy sitting next to him, and as it was starting to take off, Cam Scadaboo ran up to the golf cart and jumped onto the back of it. At that point, something broke on the back bench, and Mateos took a spill and I guess got hurt really badly because the back bench broke. And at first he was suing the school, but now he's pulled Cam Scadaboo into the lawsuit.
Oh, Cam's going to get drafted? Okay, well, let's saddle him up on this thing, too.
Interesting timing.
Yeah.
There is it's an ugly back and forth. I was kind of reading into some of the details of the lawsuit. He's looking for $300,000, and this has been ongoing since 2003. He's adding Cam Scadaboo to it, and the defense attorney that I was reading.
This has been going on since when?
2023. I think the incident happened in 20.
And he just barely added Cam.
And he just added Cam Scadaboo to it. But the defense attorney said that this guy has already gotten all of the expenses paid for all of his recovery, and now this is just excessive.
Oh, okay.
Pulling Cam in is excessive. I don't know. Maybe he's got long-lasting injury. My guess is when you're this far out and all of a sudden you're adding Cam Scadaboo, it feels
you're just
greedy.
Yeah, you're just grabbing money at that point.
If you're Cam Scadaboo, aren't you like, man, come on, dude, we're clowning.
We were teammates. Nobody made you get on that golf cart.
We're just joking around. Like for instance, one time Justin and I we jumped in a golf cart. We jumped in Lavelle Edwards' golf cart.
Your stories about golf carts are
it's so stupid. We did dumb things, but we jumped in a golf cart. I high centered on my own helmet. And
did you pop a tire out of golf cart when we were out golfing?
Yeah, twice. The last
time I heard. Yeah.
Carlos rolled a golf cart down the side of a hill at a charity tournament.
Oh, jeez.
We've had some trouble in golf carts, but it just happens because you're clowns when you get around golf carts.
Oh, yeah. We all do it.
Yeah.
I don't care how old you are, whether you're 18 or 80, you act like a jackass when you get in a golf cart.
And you
it's
guys,
just the rules.
You watch Cam Scadaboo to know enough that he's probably a bit of a meathead.
Yeah.
Tough dude, fun guy, meathead.
Meathead.
And when it says 600-pound weight limit and you got 2 offensive linemen on the back of it already pushing the 600 plus.
I mean, look at him. He's probably sitting there thinking about getting on that golf cart, and he's just shaking his head. Just shaking his head.
Which, by the way, do people realize it? So it is not that is not a tick. People thought that is some functionality of a tick that he's got. I was reading his comments on it. It's an OCD disorder where he has to have his helmet lined up perfectly on his cheeks before each snap. So he shakes it to line the helmet up so it's perfectly rested on each cheek before he takes the snap.
Wow.
Yeah, things that people don't need to know about Cam.
It's like the weird kicker that's combing his hair to the side.
Yeah, that has to move his hair over.
His hair.
Yeah, it's a total OCD disorder.
Interesting.
I thought it was crazy too. Chin strap has to be just right, and the cheek pads have to be just right on his cheek.
I like how it's like middle of the fourth quarter, all of a sudden he pops and calls a timeout. They're like, "What'd you do that for?" It's like, the helmet wasn't right, man.
Need a different helmet.
I need, yeah.
Just didn't feel right.
All right, one more, Lloyd. Spin it.
Showdown at the Starbucks Corral.
So Jordan Schultz of Fox and Ian Rappaport of the NFL media engaged in a verbal altercation Wednesday afternoon at the Starbucks in the JW Marriott in Indianapolis. According to multiple reports, Schultz is the one who accosted Rappaport.
Came at him.
Yeah.
Got up in his face.
It's according to multiple reports, and again, Schultz, the son of former Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz, Rappaport was talking to an NFL agent. Schultz approached Rappaport and said, "We need to talk." Rappaport replied, "Oh, we don't need to talk." Schultz then made accusations about Rappaport and said that it began to get more heated.
With F-bombs.
He said, "If you have anything to say to me, say it to my bleeping face." Schultz said, "If this continues, we're going to have a bleeping problem." Rappaport then asked Schultz to step back. But Schultz said, "No, if this happens again, we're going to have a bleeping problem. Now I'll step back." By the way,
this is in a room full of media members and NFL people, and like this is not the place that
How we don't have video of this is beyond me.
There's video out there. It just hasn't surfaced. It's coming. I don't know if this is important enough or these guys are important enough that it surfaces. Somebody sells it to TMZ, but it's out there.
Yeah.
Somebody had a video on this. We know that.
Now, Rappaport has declined to comment. Jordan Schultz has. He sent a text to Pro Football Talk and said, it really isn't anything too much. Ian and I had a verbal confrontation. It lasted a little over a minute. Multiple agents and reporters were nearby. Rappaport was the one who called security shortly after, but it never escalated further. I was like, he had to call security.
Yeah, he did. He said he had to. And you know what else he said? I don't like the reporting there. I didn't have F words.
Yeah. Schultz disputed that he used expletives in the account. He said he recalls using none.
Yeah. He said, I didn't cuss. And they're like, yeah, you did. There was a lot of people around.
That's where we're drawing the line, Jordan.
Like
I don't cuss.
Yes, I did push him and hit him, but I did not cuss.
So this all stems from Jordan Schultz put out a report that Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford and Raiders minority owner Tom Brady met in Montana at a ski resort. Rappaport downplayed it and said, oh, they just ran into each other at this ski resort, where Schultz is like, no, these dudes were talking. Look.
Like it was a meetup.
Yeah. Matthew Stafford and Tom Brady, accidental meetup, and Montana are sentences you don't use together. Like, nobody is like, oh, hey, welcome to Montana, Tom. Hey, Matthew, what's up? I didn't know. Yeah, we come here all the time. No, you don't.
Just like me and Randy had a random meetup at D's Diner.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, you're here at D's, a restaurant nobody goes to. Oh, you are too. Oh, I like how you guys picked the one restaurant you thought nobody would see you at, and sure enough, people saw you there.
The entire group comes walking in.
This is awkward.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Randy saw him first.
Yeah.
Randy's like, don't turn around.
So, yeah, when NFL reporting nerds attack, there you go. What a bunch of losers.
I don't know, Ian, and I've never met. I wonder who would have got the better who's a bigger old boy.
Those dudes would be just. It'd look like an NBA fight.
They throw fingertips at each other.
Slaps. Yeah.
I don't know. Jordan's pretty athletic. He did play like D2 ball or something.
Oh, did he?
I think.
Yeah, but he's probably got very brittle bones with all the coffee he's been drinking.
Yeah. Are we sure though that there wasn't like a little USC like getting him on the team kind of thing?
Can't believe
you calling Mr. Schultz Aunt Becky?
Yeah.
Oh man.
252. Hans and Scotty, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Number one. Miss any part of the show? Every moment of every show is available in podcast form by searching Hans and Scotty on your favorite podcasting platform or online at KSLSports.com. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This final segment brought to you by ReadyWise, your trusted partner in emergency preparedness. Hey, Hans, get ready. We're giving away a bunch of tickets to Sunday's Jazz game against the Pelicans. To enter, just go to KSLSports.com and look for the Win Jazz Tickets title. But if you really want to win, be listening tomorrow morning in the 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. hours. We'll be giving away a bonus keyword worth 97 extra entries. 97 extra entries. Wow. Very cool. So, again, keep listening tomorrow for your chance to win.
Big one tonight.
Yes.
Minnesota Wild, Utah Hockey Club. You heard Cole. He was in studio with us. he said that they need to win
3 out of 4 or go 3-1-1 in each of the next 5 games.
minimum
Yep.
to have a shot.
Yep.
So they're on a 2-game win streak. They won against the Canucks. They won against the Blackhawks. And they got to put something together against the Wild. And the Wild are obviously going to be one of the top 3 in their division. And it's a tough team.
Yeah.
I just want to see him blow people out for a minute.
I know, it'd be nice.
Just blow them out.
Just give us a good.
Just give me a
5-1.
Yeah, 5-1, 6-1.
Yeah.
Well, look at this. Look at this. I'm only going back. This is their last 5 wins. Every one of their 5 by 1 goal. Every one of their 5 by 1
It's a little
goal.
uncomfortable when the goalie takes out the goes empty net.
Tell you what,
the other team.
Yeah, you get your money's worth, though. That's for sure.
Do you know their last blowout win? It goes back January 23rd against Minnesota.
Minnesota. There you go. Well, let's go repeat of that tonight.
4-0.
4-0. All right. 3 o'clock straight up. JJ and Alex next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.